Hi, welcome to Play It Loud. When I started these videos, I made a decision that I would not get into record reviewing. A lot of people out there doing it very well, and it's not my bag. So why am I making an exception? I think there's a very good reason for that, and I'll show you what it is. This is why I'm making an exception. This is Analog Productions' CREEDENCE CLEARWATER Revival box. It's only available from Analog Productions' website. You can't buy it retail. A few have turned up on Discogs and eBay already. Very limited edition, and it's expensive. So I'm guessing that there aren't too many people out there who have had the opportunity to listen to it. And I don't think it's exactly as I was expecting it to be, so I think it's fair. Yeah, I think it's fair to do a review. Let's do a quick bit of unboxing, and I've never been a great fan of unboxing, so I'm going to make this fairly swift. You've seen the cover. It's a nice box. It's a box, but it's a nice box. Okay? You get a book. It's not, strictly speaking, a book. A few glossy pages. There's a nice cover in the middle. Find it. Yeah, here we go. It stretches out. Stretches out a lot. But it's not a book. There are box sets with books. Some of those books, thank you the Beatles, are really good. Next. Album covers. First album cover. Bayou Country. Second album cover. Green River. Third album cover. Empty album covers. And I'm not going to bore you by going through the rest. There is an album cover going back 7. And then they put in something that they call originals, and we'll get to that. And being Absolute Sounds, you then get 3 of these. You get 3 plastic covers, inside of which are 3, I'm going to call them albums for the moment, but we'll get to that. And they are in nice quality anti-static covers. Right, let's get back, because the first thing that took my note here is that Analog Productions sold this as we have taken the best of the albums, reduced them and put the best tracks onto, did they say a record or did they say an LP? I think record vinyl perhaps would be far more honest. I'll take you through these by tracks, and it really won't take long. There's only 29 tracks spread out across all of these vinyls. So, first one is Susie Q, and I've picked up the wrong one, I think. Yeah, I have. The first one has Susie Q on one side, and I Put a Spell on You on the other. That's it. 2 tracks. Next one, Bayou Country. Born on the Bayou, Bootleg, Good Golly Miss Molly, Penthouse Porter, and Proud Mary. Third one, Green River. Green River, Commotion, Bad Moon Rising, and Lodi. Perhaps my favourite album, and I got lucky here. Willie and the Poor Boys goes Down in the Corner, It Came Out of the Sky, Cotton Fields, Fortunate Son, Don't Look Now, It Ain't You or Me, and Midnight Special. Cosmos Factory, Looking Out My Back Door, Run Through the Jungle, and I heard it through the grapevine. To their credit, they do put on the whole 11 minutes of grapevine. Here we've got Pendulum. Have You Seen the Rain? And Tonight. That's it. 2 tracks. Mardi Gras, Sweet Hitchhiker, Someday Never Comes. 2 tracks. Finally, I mentioned before, Absolute Beginners. Absolute Originals, beg your pardon. Bad Moon Rising, Lodi, Good Golly Miss Molly, Penthouse Proper, and Proud Mary. They call these the wide stereo mix, and they call them the wide stereo mix because apparently John Fogerty took the view that most of the singles should be in stereo but sounding very much in the centre of the speakers. They were recorded at a time, 68, 70, when people were moving away from mono into stereo, but he wanted them to sound the same on both bits of kit. All right, fair enough. In the notes, and there's some nice mixing notes, they say that they put them in simply to demonstrate that Fogerty got it right the first time. And here's another issue. I think he's wrong. The wide stereo mixes sound excellent. The mono, they're not mono, they're his version of stereo. They're not as good. They're very good, but they're not as good as the stereo. So give me a second just to replace some of this, because it's making a mess. Okay, box back. Now, what I did now is to do some A-B comparisons, because unfortunately, I'm a Creedence Clearwater Revival fan, and luckily they were well recorded to start with. And I had a couple of things that I could try with them. This is, I think, the 40th anniversary mono box set. The monos apparently were all stereo fold downs, if you know what that is, but they're mono singles. This is a box of all of their singles, original covers. It's a lovely little box and I'm very happy to own it. And I did notice, because I checked, that now this too is getting quite expensive. Okay, my preferred listening before that, The Chronicles double album, LP. Really, really good. Nice bit of kit. And just to keep things, I took a Green River album and checked out Green River from that album when I did the comparisons. Let's start with the singles box. Susie Q and Green River were the 2 tracks that I picked to go through on all the available vinyl. And the 45 singles sounded okay. They were well recorded. But ultimately, having listened to the others, they sound jukebox. You can dance to them, but I wouldn't recommend sitting down and listening to them, not critically anyway. They're good, nice little box, nice little book in the back. No, I don't think I'll be digging those out very often. Next up, I put this on. I've always really enjoyed this, and when I put it on again, I understood why. Stereo recordings, very well put together. Lovely sound. It's a good compilation, and I'm going to tell you now, without cutting corners, the Green River on there sounded better than the Green River on the Green River album. And yes, quite significantly better. Let's not go into details. It was just better. Which brings us back to this. I think I've demonstrated this is not albums. A number of these are singles, EPs at best, 29 tracks in total. Works out, let's get to the cost, somewhere between £10 and £12 per track. Might be what you're paying for a single, but it's an awful lot of money. So where does this stand in comparison to the box sets of singles and Chronicles? I was actually a little bit surprised. Shouldn't have been. I've got other Analog Productions albums, but they were better by a margin. I've already said I like Chronicles. Chronicles is a good double album, and it sounds very good. The Analog Productions versions of the tracks on there are significantly better. The bass is better, the drums are better. Bluntly, the band sound as if they're in the room with you, rather than something that you might be listening to from perhaps the room next door. Yeah, the CREEDENCE Clearwater Revival Absolute Originals is probably the best you will ever get to hear CCR. Whether you think it's worth £10 to £12 a track and a big box that you're going to be turning the tracks over on a regular basis, it's going to cost you at least £350 for the box, and only you can decide whether or not that's worth it. My advice: play it loud. It's very, very good. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.